how to manage anger. The purpose of this module is to take a closer look at the emotion of anger and to think about ways you can manage anger effectively. Many people conceive anger as something dangerous or to be avoided. However, anger itself is not negative. It is how we express anger that can be either harmful or healthy. It can be expressed in many forms. At the completion of this short module, participants will be able to identify the cause of anger, recognize both the verbal and nonverbal languages of anger, identify the early warning stages of anger, and discover activities and other methods that will assist in managing anger. Anger can be defined as an emotion characterized by a strong feeling of displeasure and sometimes a desire for a revenge, usually triggered by a real or imagined wrongdoing to a victim. Anger is only short for one letter, danger. Anger is often called a secondary emotion because we tend to resort to anger in order to protect ourselves from or cover up other vulnerable feelings. A primary feeling is what is felt immediately before we feel anger. We almost always feel something else first before we get angry. We might feel afraid, attacked, disrespected, forced, trapped, offended, pressured. Any of these feelings are intense enough, we will think of the emotion of anger. Anger can be like an iceberg in that only some of the emotions are visible. The other emotions exist below the waterline, where they are not immediately obvious to outside observers. So let's take an example of this diagram where the anger is above the waterline. What other areas do you see that could be happening? You could be afraid, you could be scared, frustrated, humiliated, hurt, attacked, offended. Any of these emotions could possibly occur before you feel anger. To identify an underlying emotion, road rage is one of them. And road rage is a particularly destructive manifestation of anger. What might be some of the underlying emotions for road rage? Could it be frustration, hurt, rejection, fear of gaining reputation as an unreliable person, or perhaps driver? All of these could potentially be the underlying primary emotion driving a case of road rage. When one is frustrated with some situation, especially one over which there's no control, road rage can result. Also, being recently hurt by someone important to us can result in manifesting anger at the strangers on the road. Similarly, a person who felt that they are unfairly rejected might use a form of road rage to avoid facing that rejection. Early warning signs. Anger is often experienced physically as the body reacts to the interpretation of the situation. Here are some common cues which may indicate a person is becoming angry. Tense body, clenched teeth, increased intensity of speech or behavior, unkind words, tone of voice changes, body language, restlessness, withdrawal, unresponsiveness, or even being provoked. Noise with mouth like growls or deep breathing. Pouting, squinting, rolling the eyes, or other facial expressions. All of these are signs. Becoming aware of these cues can help to identify that they are feeling angry and take steps to deal with it appropriately. Types of anger. There are 3 types of anger. There's aggressive aggressive anger, passive anger, and assertive anger. Let's look at each one. Aggressive anger can be angry expressed in the way it is directed to the other person to hurt them emotionally, physically, or psychologically. Yelling, put downs, hitting are examples of aggressive anger. Passive anger, a person internalizes the expression of anger when they avoid dealing with the situation that contributed to the feelings of anger. The anger can then be expressed by getting even, holding a grudge, being mean at some time in the future, spreading nasty rumors, not speaking to the person, and damaging property can be examples of passive anger. Assertive anger. This is usually the best way to communicate feelings of anger because anger is expressed directly and in a non-threatening way to the person involved. A statement such as, "I feel angry when you," is an example of assertive anger. This screen I know looks extremely busy, and you can download it at the end of this program and perhaps go through it. We won't be going through it right now, but I just wanted to make aware of some of the characteristics, the feelings of others and your own when you're feeling these three different types of anger. There are verbal and nonverbal types of anger. Anger can be expressed both verbally and non-verbally. Let's take time to go over the verbal and non-verbal of each of the three ways. The aggressive, you could say, "Shut up," "Get lost," "You'll be sorry." Non-verbal, you could finger point, glare, arms crossed, hands on hips, fingers clenched in a fist. Increase in volume of voice. Invasion of personal space. That's usually 4 inches or closer. And the signs of nonverbal and verbal passive could possibly be, "I'm sorry, I have to tell you this. Please don't get angry with me." Some of the nonverbal could be biting lips or tongue, looking away or down, folded arms, very soft voice, mouth behind hands as if to protect themselves. Apologetic tone. And assertive, the verbal could be, "I feel," "I'm angry about," "I think," "I don't understand." The nonverbal could be direct but non-invasive eye contact, modulated voice, respect for spatial boundaries, use of illustrated gestures, and an erect but relaxed posture. Anger management can be learned. Remember that emotions are triggers that incite anger, and the key to individual responses to anger and its control are unique to each person. Help create a safe emotional climate. Be a model for responsible anger management. Develop self-regulatory skills such as self-control and reflection skills allow you to regulate your behavior. Label and communicate your feelings, like "I think," "I feel," really helps. Let's look at these approaches as an example. Ask if you are part of the problem. What would you be upset if you were treated the same way? Put ourselves in the other person's shoes. Show empathy. Active self-awareness. Assess your own situations and feeling first before you try to do others. Let yourself be human. Here are some activities to try. When you think you're feeling angry, buy time by counting. Count to 10. If that doesn't work, count to 100. Buying time allows us to gain control of our thoughts, which often reduces anger. This is because feeling angry feelings are not actually caused by situations or events, but rather by thoughts we have about those situations or events. Counting is one way to replace the thought about the situation or event with counting thoughts. Very simple, effective tool. Ask yourself some questions and engage in the thinking mind. Is this situation in any way similar to experience from my past? How important is my relationship with this person in order to be angry? What's my level of commitment? What other things are going on in my life? What's at risk in this situation? All engage in the thinking mind. Another way, and this is the last one I'm going to share, but there's lots more ways, concentrate on your breathing. When you start to feel angry, try to isolate yourself for 15 minutes and concentrate on relaxing and calm, steady breath. Inhale and exhale deeply 3 to 4 times in a row. Count slowly to 8 as you exhale. Focus on feeling the air move in and out of your lungs. Again, engaging another part of your body helps you to relax and get away from your anger. So let's review our learning objectives today. Identify the causes of anger. We now can recognize both the verbal and the nonverbal languages of anger, identify some early warning signs to when anger is occurring. And there's a couple of activities like breathing, counting activities that will help you to manage your anger. Thank you for joining us for How to Manage Anger.